Hello everyone, DM Gashbad here, and today I'll be bringing you Game 1 of Round 2 of our Warhammer Fantasy Battles 8th Edition Escalation campaign. This is the second one we've done, and it's called the Isle of Valonda. We are on to Scenario 2. Scenario 2 is called Ancient Monuments, and the big news in this one is that there is going to be a Sorcerous Portal in the middle of the table. For those who are not familiar, the Sorcerous Portal is a mystical monument. It's an impassable terrain piece, and at the beginning of every magic phase, you roll 2d6 and consult a chart, and it casts that spell on the closest target within range. It could be one of your troops, it could be one of the enemy troops, it could be far away, close, whatever. Doesn't need line of sight, doesn't matter if the unit is in combat. It's about a 50-50 chance as to whether the spell is good or bad. Real quick, it could cast Soul Blight, Wissen's Wild Form, Plague of Rust, Speed of Light, or Fireball. So there's no real telling what this thing is going to do. In addition to that, we each have a hobby project for this scenario. We each get to place one of our own mystical monuments on the table. I'll get into those when we see the table setup itself. But for now, let's talk about my army. We are up to 600 points, and here is my Empire force right here. Up in front is my general, Captain Kurgi. He is a captain of the Empire. Last round, I couldn't afford to give him anything else because I was trying to fit in 2 characters in a 500-point force. This time, he's got some money to spend. I gave him the full plate armor, I gave him a shield. He now has a 3-up save, plus he still has his Sword of Might from that first battle, so I'm feeling really good about his combat potential now. Also, quick note, this is one of the first Warhammer models I ever painted. I don't know, this is an old HeroQuest model, something like that. But just nice to pull that guy off the miniature shelf and brush the dust off him a little bit. To his right, we have also a new model. We have Jeremy McCroth, my warrior priest. He's gotten himself heavy armor and a shield to go with his sword of battle that he picked up in the first scenario. Behind them, we have the trusty Ruddy Reavers. Those are 20 swordsmen with full command. Off to the left, we have a detachment of 5 handgunners. Those go with the Ruddy Reavers. Behind the handgunners, we have 5 inner circle knights. Those are the riding roughshods. And off to the right, we've taken that angry mob and we have increased the size of those guys. So they used to be a detachment of 5. Now they are a full unit into their own right. So we have 20 free company with no command. This unit is a mix of my Mordheim models for my Witch Hunters, for my Averlanders, and a bunch of Blood Bowl models scattered in there as well. I put my Blood Bowl models on square bases specifically for this purpose, but I do want to replace those eventually with some more free company-ish militia models, but I didn't quite get to it this time, so we still got some of my Loggerheads Blood Bowl team scattered in there. So why the free company? Why did I go and change them from a detachment to a full unit unto themselves? I'm not sure it's a great idea. They certainly are really useful as a detachment. I liked how they worked, but we get prestige points, and prestige points are points that you score in the course of a game and also for doing hobby projects, winning, losing, that kind of thing, that you can spend on your army at the very last scenario, the big multiplayer scenario that determines who wins the campaign. So in this scenario, we get a prestige point every time the Sorcerous Portal targets your troops. So how do you investigate things in the Warhammer world? You send peasants to go stick their face in it. So my intention is to get a big unit of the cheapest troops I can find and hurl them towards the portal to see what happens and get me a bunch of prestige points on the way. Is it a great tactical decision? I don't know, but it definitely seems very much in keeping with the spirit of the Warhammer world. Here's a picture of the table before we have started the game. I didn't take a separate picture of my opponent's army. I apologize for that, but I'm going to go over what he's brought real fast. This is the Daemons of Chaos player. He's taking a Slaaneshi themed force, and so he has got a Herald of Slaanesh. The Herald picked up a Sword of Might in the last game, but I guess Slaanesh wasn't happy with how she performed, so Slaanesh took away the Herald's magic level. So now it's just a normal Herald with a Sword of Might. That Herald is leading a unit of 15 Demonettes with full command and the Banner of Swiftness. Off to the left, you can see my opponent's new acquisition. He has got 3 Fiends of Slaanesh. And over to the right, the Seekers of Slaanesh have made a return. So it's 5 Seekers of Slaanesh with no upgrades. So you can see the Sorcerous Portal in the middle of the table. The person who set up the campaign did a real nice job doing that. We each got to paint up and place one of our own mystical monuments. I went and made a magic circle. If you want to see a video on how I made that, you can do that. I'll put a link in the description. And my opponent brought a Bane Stone. So the magic circle is off to the left, and the Bane Stone is off in my deployment zone. I'm sure he would have preferred it to been somewhere else, but I got to choose tableside, so I put it there. It doesn't matter, those Slaaneshi troops are so fast, they're not going to be close to that in the first place. The magic circle gives troops within 6 inches of it the magic resistance 2 rule, so you get a 5-up ward save against magical attacks. I thought that would be useful for when my peasants go and get blasted by the Sorcerous Portal. The Bane Stone is less helpful. Any units within 6 inches of a Bane Stone are +1 to be wounded, so he's going to want to leave that area as soon as he can. In addition, we have a normal building in the lower left. We have a mist-wreathed swamp that no one is going to want to go into in the center right, and we have a mysterious forest up at the top. So you can see my troops down at the bottom. I have placed the Free Company over off on the left. Their job is to go get zapped by the portal. And I have got the Warrior Priest with the Free Company, so make those crazy peasants even crazier. The Swordsmen are in the center. They have my General, my Captain in there, and the detachment of handgunners, and the Knights are way off to the left. You can see the Swordsmen are squaring off against the Demonettes in the center, and he's got his faster elements off on the flanks. So before anything else happens, the Seekers of Slaaneshi are going to get their Vanguard move. They're going to skip forward. They're going to reform a bit to squeeze past that mist-wreathed swamp. And I go ahead and get the first turn. So according to plan, the Free Company charge up and go take a good look inside that weird swirling green portal. The swordsmen bear right a little bit. Maybe I shouldn't have done this. I think I underestimate how fast those fiends are, but I think that I'm pretty confident that the Warrior Priest and the Free Company can hold their own for a little bit. I'm more worried about the Demonettes because of course they're speed 7 at this point, so I'm going to bear right a little bit. The Knights, this is also maybe a questionable tactical decision on my part. So the Knights are just going to hold off where they are. I like the field of view they have of the battlefield right now. What I want to do is keep those Seekers of Slaaneshi out of the battle. I'm feeling okay about my positioning. If I can just hold things off, collect some prestige points for getting zapped by the portal, I'm going to be feeling pretty good. So I actually keep the Knights where they are, and my goal is just to occupy those Seekers of Slaaneshi as long as I can. I don't really have any high hopes I'll actually be able to catch them, but I haven't been able to charge with my Knights so far in this campaign, and I do hope that maybe he fails a charge or he moves where he shouldn't and maybe I'll get a charge off. Seems unlikely against this player. Anyway, the handgunners are going to stay where they are and they're going to shoot. In the magic phase, I've only got 2 real spells and neither of them are going to matter. I've got the 5-up ward save and the rerolls to wound. Chances are I get one of them off. I'm going to guess the 5-up ward save. That's usually the opponents dispel the rerolls to wound. Soulfire doesn't matter, so I don't cast it. And I'm going to fire with the handgunners. They're going to do a cross-the-board shot at those Seekers. They are within range, and they do me proud. They kill off one of those Seekers in the first round, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. And that brings us to the Demon's turn, and right off the bat, the Fiends of Slaaneshi go and charge straight into Free Company. They're going to start this battle right away. So now they're the closest, and they get affected by the Sorcerous Portal. If I'm not crazy, I think the Sorcerous Portal last round went and cast Wissen's Wild Form on the Free Company, so they're +1 strength and +1 toughness, so I think they're doing pretty well right now. But the Fiends aren't scared. They are super fast, and they go and hurl themselves right in there. In further moves, sure enough, the Seekers of Slaaneshi go and just skirt alongside my Knights, and they get off into the flank there. I'm not particularly worried about that. And the Demonettes go and advance a bit away from that Bane Stone. So in the magic phase, nothing terrible happens for the Reign of Chaos chart. And as for the Sorcerous Portal, I think they might have cast Soul Blight on those Fiends of Slaaneshi. So now that's real bad news. So now I'm up strength and toughness, and he's down strength and toughness. And I think that goes to explain how well this Free Company did. They have hatred, and they went and caused 5 wounds on the Demonettes. The Demonettes only managed to kill 2 of my Free Companies, so that was a good job from those peasants. The Fiends go and pass their instability, so they didn't lose any more, but still, that was a harsh buzzsaw that those monsters ran into. Sensing their success, we're going to pile more bodies into the fray. I go and make a reform at the end of that, which I can do because I am the winner, and so I just expand frontage a little bit, get more troops into the fight. Here's the thing, though. I think all this made me really, really overconfident. So I'm feeling really good. I don't see why the free company isn't going to destroy the Fiends of Slaaneshi either this round or the next. I'm very happy with what the Knights are doing. They're just occupying those Seekers like I wanted to. So now I'm thinking, hey, let's finish this up. Let's wrap up this battle and let's go home. I declare a charge from the swordsman into the big demonette unit. We did this before, right? Last game, and that went really well. I won that and ended the battle really quick. It's a little bit of a long charge, but I do manage to make the roll, and we go straight in there. The Knights and Handgunners just turn to face the Seekers. I want to shoot them at some point, and the Knights don't want to get charged in the flank. I also want to make sure that the Seekers can't skirt past the Knights and charge the Handgunners. So if they want to charge in and fight the Knights, fine, but we're ready for them. The Sorcerous Portal speaks in the magic phase, and now the Swordsmen are the closest unit, and it goes and casts a fireball on my guys, and so one of my dudes gets burned to a crisp. The Free Company in the close combat phase continue to have a great day. I'm not sure what spells I managed to cast in the magic phase, any prayers or anything, but whatever I did sure seemed to do the trick, because we kill off all the rest of the Fiends for absolutely no loss. So, Fiends are gone, and we just reform to face the rest of the battle. But then we get to this combat. Okay, so the key difference between this game and last game, I mean, there's a bunch of them, but one of them is that in the last game, I had killed his Allurus, his champion of the Demonettes, with a Soulfire prayer before the battle started. So it didn't happen in this case, obviously, because the Warrior Priest is in with a Free Company, and so now he has a champion, and the champion, I believe, goes and challenges. Or excuse me, I go and challenge with my duelist, my swordsman champion, and now he has a demonette champion to accept the challenge as opposed to accepting with his herald. So in the last game, all the Herald could do was chop up my poor duelist. In this one, the Herald is free to do whatever she wants, and in this case, it's target my general. And that's okay, I'm feeling pretty good because I have all that expensive armor that I wore, but the Herald has 4 attacks at an insanely high initiative and an insanely high weapon skill. They're all strength 5 because of the Sword of Might, and they're all armor piercing because of the weird interaction with the rule of the Demonettes and the magic weapon. The Demonettes just have the armor piercing rule. It's not applied to their claws or anything like that. It's just like whatever they use, they get armor piercing on, or at least that's our understanding of the rule. So anyway, the demonette goes chop, chop, chop. Sure enough, yeah, gets a number of hits onto my general. I am down to a 6+ armor save. I do not pass him. I take the 2 wounds, and my general just charges headlong bravely into this combat and immediately gets stabbed. Not to death. He's going to reappear in the next games, but he's going to have to get carted off on a stretcher away from the battlefield and won't take any more part. But wow, okay, that was a little bit shocking. The good news is that the Herald is no harder to hit than the rest of them. Because my swordsman are weapon skill 4, we just need to make it to hit. On the Herald, it's only toughness 3 with a 5+ ward save. So I target all my attacks on that, thinking, well, at least I can even the balance here a little bit. But no, I only managed to get 1 wound through, which is about what you'd expect. The duelist actually does reasonably well. The duelist and the Allurist just fight each other to a draw, and neither one drops. But I only managed to kill 1 other demonette, and the demonettes go and slice up 4 of my swordsmen. If I had killed 1 more demonette, I would have been steadfast for this break test, but as it is, I'm down 4, I believe, and so yeah, I go ahead and fail it, and I get run down. So that really hurt. There goes my strongest unit, there goes my general. Boy, these Empire versus Demon games certainly seem to be tilting strongly one way or the other. So this is really bad news. So here's this rampaging demon unit in the middle of my battle line, and I caused this because I charged in my turn, so now it's going to be the demon turn next. And this is what I get. This is not going to be pretty. So the Seekers charge the Knights from the front, and the Demonettes and the Herald go and charge the Knights from the rear. And I gotta hope that that is good armor to, maybe hang in there a little bit. Maybe if I can kill off that Herald in this close combat phase, that'll be worth it. In the magic phase, the Rain of Chaos table doesn't do anything terrible. The portal goes and targets my Free Company with something. Doesn't matter, but it is a prestige point for me at least. And then we go to the close combat phase, and no, I did not bring the good armor this game. Maybe that's why I wasn't so eager on advancing in the very beginning. I knew I had got the ceremonial cardboard armor. Anyway, the Herald goes and chops, kills off like 3 guys, and then all the rest of them go. Now, I've got 2+ armor saves against all these guys, even with their armor piercing, but it doesn't matter. I roll all the ones I could ever possibly want, and yeah, my knights die before they even get to swing the sword. That was just a blur of limbs and horse parts. So the Demonettes go and reform back towards the remaining troops. Seekers, same thing, and I am in a lot of trouble. Okay, so it's my turn. Free Company are a little bit concerned about this. We're a little bit worried about how this is panning out. So we're just going to slowly back away from all that carnage into the building right behind us. So this is a bit more defensible for me. I'm always going to be stubborn in a building. It's going to limit the number of people that he can go and send in. They're still scary, don't get me wrong, and they get their full attacks when they charge a building. But I like my odds better here. Plus, if he charges the building and sends the Herald to go fight, I can really combine a lot of attacks into the Herald. The handgunners are left to go and fend off the entirety of the demon force, so just take care of that for me, will you? They go and shoot and don't manage to kill anything. Again, as far as the magic phase went, the Free Company were targeted with something that doesn't really matter, and my warrior priest cast some prayers, which also don't really matter. So it's back to the demon turn, and yeah, this is somewhat predictable. The demonettes go and pile into the handgunners. The handgunners probably get a stand and shoot and don't do anything. I didn't take a picture of this, but the Seekers have actually run over to the magic portal. They want to take a big sniff with those weird long noses of their steeds and see what all that's about. In the magic phase, nothing terrible happens in the Reign of Chaos table, and also nothing terrible happens to the Seekers. Now, they get a prestige point. And in the hand-to-hand combat phase, hey, maybe if I'm left with a handgunner, one of them can get a sneaky club onto that Herald, but no, this is what you would expect. The Demonettes go and slaughter all of the handgunners and just do a little reform there. And the Free Company say, no thank you, we're happy in this building, we're going to stay right here. We cast some prayers, and then we think maybe we had the right idea, because the portal goes and spits out another fireball. This could be nice, but I only managed to kill one of the Seekers. Could have solved me some problems if they had all gone and died. Back to the demon turn, and the Seekers have a good idea. They're going to go and shuffle their fast cap move over to the other side of the portal next to that magic circle. The Demonettes are going to advance slightly. My opponent knows that he is up on victory points, and he does not need to go and throw his most valuable unit into that building. Wherever that portal leads, it is somewhere really fiery, because another fireball comes out and hits the Seekers. But this time the Seekers have the right idea. They are next to that magic circle, so they effectively have a 3-up ward save against spells, so no damage is taken. Well, we're sensing that this is going bad, but these guys are full of the Faith of Sigmar, so in our turn, the Free Company are actually going to leave the building. We are going to threaten those Seekers that are hanging out by the magic circle, see if we can't scare them away. And since the Demonettes don't seem interested in charging us, maybe they're scared. Maybe they're scared of farmers, so we're going to press our luck. And as before, I cast some spells, the portal does something that doesn't greatly affect the Seekers, and we move on to the demon phase. So, yep, the Seekers are scared of farmers, so they are going to just skip to the other side of that portal to stay safe from any potential charges. Still going to be the closest unit. The Demonettes are going to move up, but not as far as they could. They actually don't want to get charged by the Free Company. So this is it. It's turn 6. This is my last turn. The Free Company are going to advance. We're going to be the closest targets to this Sorcerous Portal for the last round, so at least we're going to get ourselves one more point, and we're going to see if these Demonettes want to fight. Turns out they do not. My opponent knows that he has victory in hand, and so he just says, fine, you want the portal? You can have it. We'll take the victory. The Seekers stay where they are. The Demonettes stay where they are. The portal, having so much fun, decides one last time it's going to spit out a fireball, kill one of my Free Company, and that is the end of the game. So, ouch. Okay, so obviously I got a big loss. The Free Company and the Warrior Priest did real well, but I made a number of mistakes. Charging in with that swordsman unit in the beginning, I did not do the math on that. I did not figure that out correctly, and so I should not have done that. Should have stayed back. In fact, in retrospect, probably the best thing I could have done from the very beginning is advance that tiny unit of handgunners forward. I know I wouldn't have been able to shoot, but just use them as a redirector for those Demonettes. I knew where they were coming through. They weren't going to want to go into that mist-wreathed swamp, and that big impassable terrain piece would have held them up, so maybe I should have just plugged that gap and set an ambush on the other side. It would have at least slowed him down. Anyway, I was flush with victory with the Free Company. I was so happy with what they did, and I was okay with what the Knights are doing, though really probably should have done something else. They are not well suited to just slowly clopping along, going to face the Seekers. Actually, the Seekers and the Knights are not far off as far as points goes, but I know that I'm eventually going to get outmaneuvered by those guys. And so probably should have done something different, maybe kept them closer to my lines or something like that. Anyway, that's the end of the game. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them below, and I will see you on the next one.